So anyway, to do a zipper, not hard at all. You start with a 1.5 or a 2-inch piece of fabric, strip of fabric. You press it in half, you open that up, and then you fold these two outside ones in, and then press it in half again, like that. And then you're gonna insert your zipper right in there to make a new zipper stop. So I've got a little example to show you here. And first thing you have to do, these nylon zippers are very easy to cut. Don't be afraid to cut them. I'm just going to do it right now and show you. You can just cut right across there. See? Not scary. I cut the little zipper stop that comes on the zipper already off. And then I insert that end of that zipper into that fold that I just made. And I just stitch right across the top. Your needle goes right through that nylon. It's not hard on your machine. I've never broken a needle doing that. So then it looks like that. So then you just trim it off even with your zipper. And then to do the next part of it.
Can I back you up a second?
Yes.
When you said trim it off even with your zipper, what are you talking about trimming?
I'm talking about, I can go ahead and do that. Right here. Even with the side of your zipper.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you don't want all that stuff hanging over. You want it to look nice and neat. So there you go.
All right.
She's making me cut up all my samples here.
I'm happy now.
Okay, you're happy. Okay, now you're going to eventually have to cut it down some more. But what I want you to remember before you do that is to unzip your zipper where the zipper pull is within the width of your zipper. Because if you leave your zipper out here and you need a 9-inch zipper and you cut it right here, you're going to be very sad because you cannot unzip your zipper or zip it back up. So pull the zipper down. What I usually do, like I just quilted 2 pieces of fabric together. And you can quilt it any way you want. I'm not a fancy quilter. I just stitched on the little lines. So the lining is already connected to the front of this one. I probably need to turn this around. So my bag measures 10 inches wide. You cut your zipper 1 inch shorter than the width of your bag.
1 inch shorter.
1 inch shorter. And so then I would unzip this. I would measure over 9 inches. I'd cut it off again, but now you've got it open, but you just want to make sure that they're together even like they're supposed to be. So then you lay your zipper on the bag and you want to center it. So see, I have about 1/2 inch on each side of that zipper.
So you added a stop to the other end.
I added a stop to the other end. Oh yes, after you cut this off, after you cut this off, go ahead and insert the other end in there and add a stop to both ends. So it looks like this now.
Okay, got to stop on both ends.
Stop on both ends.
Zipper that pulls in between the two.
And my zipper pull is in there, so now it will work. So you turn this zipper face down onto the front of the bag and you want to center it. And then you're just going, you can pin it to get started, and that's usually what I do. You can either use your zipper foot or just a regular foot. You're just sewing right over here next to it. You want to get the zipper pull out of the way. So I start with it out of the way. I'll start sewing along. There's kind of a little line on your zipper. That's kind of what I use as my guide to sew down. So that little line right there. So I get down, when I get close to the zipper head, I stop with my needle down. I raise my presser foot. I turn my bag sideways, and then I zip it back to get that zipper pull out of the way for this end, and it goes right along the edge of the front of your foot instead of trying to get it under there.
Zipper instructions in the pattern?
Yes, they're in the pattern. But I'm just going to kind of show you and talk you through it.
Because
but like I said, this one has
a
a lining, so you'd have to put it between the lining and the outside the bag, and it tells you how to do that. And it has very good pictures.
Yeah, so many people are afraid of putting zippers
Right,
in.
so I just want to show you they're very easy to do.
It's not hard at all. Debbie does it all the time.
I do it all the time. In fact, these are my trick-or-treat bags that I hand out to my trick-or-treaters. So, yeah, I do it all the time. So, after you sew that on, looks like this.
Okay.
So now it's sewn on. I just sewed right down the line there. And then you want to press it up and top stitch it. You want to press it up and you want to top stitch. You want to lay it down flat, so you want to fold this over. And I just top stitch it so it doesn't get caught. The fabric doesn't get caught in the zipper that way. So it looks nice and clean. So you just do a little top stitch.
Okay.
Then to make this bag, I would do the same thing on the back. Now I would lay it on here. I kind of line up the sides and the bottom. No, I don't line up the bottom. I line up the sides of the bag, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sew it onto this side.
Okay, so when you line up the sides, you've got that zipper centered on both pieces.
Right, so now it's centered on both pieces because you want your sides to be even. So even if
Yeah.
it's not exactly centered, it doesn't matter. So I've got my sides lined up. I'm going to do the same thing to the back of the bag. So I sew that on, I flip it out, and I top stitch. So now it's done to both sides. So see, I've got my bag here, got my zipper stops on there.
All right.
So now, this is a really easy bag to make. I line up my sides and my bottom now. If you want a handle on your bag, you just sew a couple of pieces together, just make a little tube. You want to put that in your bag before, so I would like pin that right here where I want my handle. You pin that before you sew it.
Is this where you should unzip your bag?
Yes. So see, I've got my zipper unzipped part of the way.
What happens if you don't?
Yeah. Then it's real hard to get that bag open to turn it right side out.
Yeah.
I know from experience.
I watched her.
Yes. You can't do it. It's not fun.
No.
So then I just sew. I use a 1/4 inch seam. I sew all the way around. Once you've done that and your zipper's open, then you can just turn the bag out. So fast and easy. Just poke your little corners out. You can use a point-to-point turner or just your fingers because it's pretty big, so it's easy to do. You want to poke out the ends of your zipper, so poke out the top like that.
Oh, so it has a square top.
Right. My handle's in there. I would probably press that to get the sides all out, but you can kind of push out with your fingers too.
You're gonna have to give them lots of candy.
I know. I've got my little handle on there. I'll put
That's
some kind of
just
little ribbon
cute.
or something for a zipper pull. They can use that bag all the time. Now I've got another little tip to show you. If you want this bag just has it doesn't stand up on its own. But if you wanted it to, after you've sewn it, oh, sorry, I forgot one thing. After you sew it, I zigzag around the outside edges on the seam allowance. You can see that.
So you don't end up with lots of strings in the
Right,
bag.
so it doesn't unravel. Now I'll go back to this, because if you wanted your bag to stand up,
And this never looks like it would work.
no, it doesn't. You just flip your bag up about an inch, inch and a half, whatever. Sew right here and right here. And I've done that on this bag. This is not like that one, but I've done that. So you can see, I just flipped it up, sewed it. I want to show you what happens whenever you turn it right side out. I thought this will, whenever I did the bag that said to do that, I thought this will never work.
And that's one of those, you read over the directions and you read it over
It just
and you
didn't
think,
make
no,
sense.
this isn't going to
That's
work.
not going to work. I had another little strip of fabric on the bottom of that, and I just, look at this. It just stands right up now.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute? Yeah.
It shouldn't work, but it does.
No. So real easy little tip to make your bag stand up if you want to without you having to do those box corners. All you do is fold that up, sew it down. Ta-da! Okay, so zippers are not hard. And the directions for the zippers in this pattern are really easy, just no harder than what I just showed you.